Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rockin' Beards podcast. My name is HSR.
What up? It's Syd.
Christen.
And it's episode 64. And before we jump into the episode and let's do the housekeeping. Let's just get that out of the way. And if you do want to skip it, just check in the description of the video. We're going to talk about the album tonight, track by track, give you our thoughts, give you our opinions, give a little grade, move on to the next track, and then give our thoughts of the album as a whole at the end.
Are you going to announce the favorite comment from last week?
Of course I am. But first, I want to give some love to Lindell, Williams, and Mozart, our patrons. We'll talk a bit about that at the end of the episode. And yes, now we'll move on to our favorite comment of last week's episode.
Okay, on that note, I just want to say, Lindell, I'm sorry I don't have the comment in front of me because my phone is charging, but I know it was you, and Holden's going to read it to me.
Yes, and it was on the episode that we did last week for the Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. And Lindell Williams, the same guy who was our patron, who's awesome, just by the way, said this was a decent listen. It wasn't the most ultramatic sounding album I've heard, but if that's a great word.
Ultramatic.
Yes, it's how he wrote it.
Interesting.
Album I've heard, but if I was riding in the car with someone, I wouldn't ask them to turn it off.
I agree.
I agree entirely. I think I like it a little more, but I agree entirely. It kind of sounds like they were testing the water sometimes. I'll say the scores were right. That means we agree, Lindell. Thank you. This album left me feeling a little melancholy, but it had some good moments. I like the word melancholy. Good choice. And to be fair, we didn't pick Lindell because he's a patron. It was the only comment last week because it got not the highest amount of views. So feel free to comment on this week's video. Tell us how you feel. Get that engagement up so YouTube thinks that, there's something happening here on this video. We would really, really fucking appreciate that is what I'm trying to say right now.
Why don't you tell us what album we're reviewing, Christen?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, I can give you a hint. My phone case and my shirt, My Chemical Romance.
She's happy about this.
The Black Parade.
Yes, that's the album we're doing.
Which is now 13 years old.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Oh my
I'm a
Lord.
grandfather.
It's
Grandfather
getting
to
there.
the album.
Honestly, okay, so for this one, so here's what happened to me. This is the part where we contextualize how we know the artist and shit. For those who are new here, I loved Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge in high school because I was going through my first heartbreaks of life. And that is a fantastic album to be 16-ish and heartbroken and sad. And so I probably at one point could have recited that album word for word. I listened to it again today. It's what I thought it would be. They're the same exact feelings. It went back to my 15-year-olds. Anyway, so then I remember when the lead single to this current Black Parade album we're discussing came out. And so it has like that crazy like intro. We'll get into the song. But let's be real. Once it picks up, it's really like in the same vein as Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge in terms of energy, tone, fast-paced, kind of punkish sounding. And yeah, it's got that glamour that we'll see for the rest of this album. But it definitely... So I bought the album like when it dropped, like paid the $20 back in those days in like the Music World or probably HMV actually.
Yeah,
and in Fairview in the West Island of Montreal, Quebec. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Big ups.
And bought the album, hit play, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I wasn't very cultured at that time of my life. I was getting into metal and gangster rap. So this album
is neither of those things.
And so I was like, nope, and I didn't listen to it again until... Although, okay, I like the singles. So I really liked the singles at the time. So those guys have been in my, like, rotation. But the album never really got into it.
I do want to say, fun fact, for this album, and I remember this vividly because I was already a deep metalhead. And I did not like My Chemical Romance because they were not metal. They were decidedly on metal. But for this record, on their MySpace, before they released this record, they changed their genre to punk, rock, and metal. And I remember this was a huge thing among my group of friends. We were like, what the fuck is My Chemical Romance doing? These fucking posers. And then that's the reason I listened to this album the first time. And I fucking fell in love with it. This is one of the albums. I'm sorry, I know I cut you off, but this is one of the albums that showed me that there were other styles of music other than metal out there that could be good. So...
deliberately trollish categorization of music got you there.
Fucking win. Well done, Gerard
Way.
Gerard.
I agree with both of you, though. I have the middle situation. Are you happy now?
She was doing fine, dude.
God.
She was all like...
That's you.
It's fine. Let's go on. The people don't care about our microphone drivel.
Do you care?
You let us know in
Let
the
us know.
comments if you do care. But go ahead, please tell us.
Yeah, no, basically, what was I? I was like about 15, 16, first heartbreak ever. And so previously...
Paralleled. I feel you.
But I had bought this before that. It was one of those blindly, and HMV actually, the one in Ottawa, because we're specific, had those, promotions of like 2 or 3 CDs for $25. And I was like, people keep talking about this. Let me see what it is. The cover looks all dark, and then I put it, I uploaded it into my phone, and I had an 8-hour road trip to New York. I was like, let's see, and I put the first track on. It was like, what is this? What the hell am I listening to? Like, why? Shit.
Why
Did I buy this? Where did my money go? And then I mean, it was like it had like the brand new iPod, so I barely had any music on it. I was like, okay, we'll keep trying. And then by the end of the 8 hours, it was like, holy shit. This is powerful. And then like later on when my heartbreak came into play, I was like, oh my god, this music, how could I even like this? And it really spoke to me. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. So I guess that's how we all know My Chemical Romance here.
We all know My Chemical Romance.
And we've all
On a
had,
deeper level.
to be fair, I know more 3 Cheers than this one, but this was cool. I'm really happy we got here. Because, listen, the Black Parade, I want to move into just the marketing, which is something we don't often talk about, but it's super relevant on this project, right? Because the Black Parade, they announced publicly, we are no longer My Chemical Romance, as a marketing gimmick, and they embody this new band, the Black Parade, right? And basically for about a year of the touring and the proper promotion up until that the Black Parade is Dead Mexico concert, they only wore those uniforms. They were in these new characters. They built up this lore and all this other shit to promote it, and it's very David Bowie-esque in the way they almost personified this album.
Yeah,
and big respect.
The thing that you have to remember is that this came out a year after American Idiot, right?
It's also produced by the same
guy.
guy.
Yes, and around this time, every pop punk band was dipping their toes into the concept album rock opera niche, I guess you could call it. But I don't think anyone else did it as well after Green Day as My Chemical Romance did with this one.
Producer.
With the same fucking producer, guys. Really?
Okay, so what actually there was something that tipped me off to that, and it made me actually go look this up, and we'll talk about it. But there was a little clue that made me realize it might be something similar to American Idiot.
But
sonically, it's not.
No, sonically it is absolutely not. But it is worth noting that Green Day also adopted stage personas and new outfits for American Idiot. Mm-hmm. They also embodied St. Jimmy, Jesus of Suburbia, and what's her name?
Well, I mean, they have a fucking musical on Broadway, dude. I mean, it needs to be
St. Jimmy! Okay, we're talking about My Chemical Romance.
Mean Girls has a musical on Broadway. Putting it out there. Let's go on.
It's not Tina Fey.
SpongeBob is a musical too now. That's
she's in it?
sad.
I don't know. She's definitely involved in the making of it. I don't know if she's specifically in it. I was watching her talk to David Letterman, and she brought. Anyway, let's go back to
No
this
Shame.
podcast.
That is one of my favorite movies.
There should be a musical. That'd be interesting.
And anyway, so
I'm off My Chemical Romance now.
So My Chemical Romance. I love the album cover. Honestly, it was part of what got me into buying it so blindly, because when you look at this, it's so simple compared to the 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge cover.
It's that. If
is
you
it
can
really?
see it.
Oh, she's got the little cutout guy.
Well, except mine is
whatever.
holding sushi, but
And so it's got the little dude who I don't know what character the dude is, because
He's the leader of the parade, I guess. He's
he's like a Dead Skull Parade dude.
Somewhere outside of the album, all the characters got named and identified and stated and all this stuff.
Really?
So
yeah, right.
So yeah, like Mother Earth is a character, and I'm just like,
oh, fuck off. Okay.
Anyway, or Mother War or something. Anyway, so it's cool. Look,
he has a comic, Gerard Way, called Mother Panic.
Okay.
On the DC Young Animals imprint, and it takes place within the DC universe. So like Batman and the other superheroes show up, but they're different versions of them.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's something worth checking out. It's still running.
So the Black Parade, I guess we'll talk about what that is when we get to the song a little bit more in detail. But at this point, you would know that this is the new embodiment of what they are. They're clearly pivoting their band in a different direction, and
which they did again for the next album to a lesser effect. But
yeah, because Sing.
It was a great song.
My Chemical Romance. I love the fucking way it's styled here. Like, honestly, it's just I'm really happy we're talking about this band. I don't know if you guys have more thoughts on the cover or the title or anything here.
Nah, it's great. The end.
Period. Right, Syd, I know you want to talk about this end song with the period. Very distinct, very stylized. How do you feel about it?
It's just, this is how, like, take notes. Just take notes. This is how you start an album. Okay, first off, it's a concept record, right?
Yes.
So right away, you have that sense of theatricality. It doesn't start with music notes. It starts with,
Beep.
yeah.
Beep.
What do you call that?
It's
The heart monitor.
Monitor,
beeping.
yeah.
So like there's life. Well, you can hear it's like beeping.
Yeah, so you know the song is going to be, you know the album is going to be about, like, it's going to take place in a hospital. It's going to be, it's starting with the end, so you know there's going to be dead people, which, again, starting an album with end, fucking great. Just
The
beautiful.
end.
I love it so much. And then the way he comes in now, come one, come all. So he comes out like a classic piece of theater where the narrator will come out and address the audience and say, "This is what you are going to see in this
tragic
grandiose
affair."
tale." Like it's everything is stylized so well, and then it just gets so big. It's so beautiful. This song is a 5 on 5. It's amazing. I love this album.
Syd's gonna
Someone
cry.
else talk.
All right, I'll get very verbose. So, Cristen, why don't you go ahead next?
Well, I think, again, it's brilliant, and starting off with the end. And the first time I heard it, too, I mean, that just the titles intrigued me. But then when I first listened to it, it was like, what did I get myself into? Like, what is...
It's so happy.
I don't know, but not only that, it was like, this guy's voice is weird, and it's a higher pitch, and this is like a guitar thing, what is this? And then it's fucking fantastic, and the hook with the save me, I don't know. I really liked it. And then when you have, like, at one point, like, this little, like, piano interlude and finger snapping, and you've got, like... exactly. It gives you a theatrical feel, and I don't know, I give it a 5 on 5, because, again, for a concept album, it's very interesting to start it off that way.
I mean, I'm not giving it a 5 on 5 because it's just not like stylistically, it's not my
your
favorite
thing.
genre.
It's fine.
So y'all are gonna have to take that into consideration.
It's not
Now,
punk rock enough for Holden.
It's not that. I mean, most of the music I like tends to be quicker, and I'm learning how to appreciate this slower side of things. And the more we talk about albums like this, I feel like I get more exposed to it, so I appreciate it more. And I appreciate why y'all are giving it a 5. It is very theatrical. It almost sounds like a musical track, right? Like it sounds like a number that like is setting it up.
It's
and
an overture. That's what it is.
Lyrically, too, it's...
And like it starts
Yeah.
off in a little bit of a trollish way, right? Because you barely notice the song starts, so it's really quiet. So you crank up your volume a bit, and it fucking slams you, right? Which is nice. I love that shit. So kudos, Gerard Way and friends.
Jared.
So yeah, and then it comes in lyrically, and it's really just kind of over the top, right? So like, come on to this tragic affair, wipe off that makeup. What's in is despair. So throw on that black dress, mix in with the lot. You might wake up and notice you're someone you're not.
When you look in the mirror
and
and
don't like what you see, you will
can't
find out firsthand.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's like to be me. It's like
And
that
like-
line is so powerful.
And so emo.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it just kind of like
So
it
16.
feels like a funeral is playing out at this point, right? So you get the sense of that. So what's really interesting is like you don't really know where in the story this is taking place. I don't actually think this is like the beginning of the timeline of the story. This is the funeral.
end.
This is like kind of implying some death situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we talk about it more, you'll understand why I feel this way. But it's like the idea of death. Now, as I understand it, this album as a whole is an exploration of memories of death. This is The Patient is the character that we're discussing, our protagonist.
Yeah.
So what we know at this point is the heart monitor is beeping. This track comes through and he sings, and you know, he makes it very clear it's a funeral. It's got the emo-ish lyrics that are there. It's quite lovely and poetic, and I gotta give him credit. Like, it's so over the top that, like, you kind of want to hear it. You kind of want to listen to how he's going to describe this, like, stuff. Like, when you go back and play it again, it's not completely hollow. There is that little bit of, like, congruency to it to let you go and look for meaning in it.
Yeah.
So I got to give him props on that. It is very nice. It's a 4.5 on 5. I did very much enjoy it. I do agree that this is most definitely how you start an album, and I do agree with Sydney that you should take notes, folks, because this made sense. This was a well thought out, well positioned thing. And then when I realized it was the same producer of Green Days, because the cut here is exactly the same thing as the way it starts with St. Jimmy as it goes into Dead.
I'll be here waiting, baby.
just got to make it clear in case I get berated in the comments. I know that these bands are very different and the albums are very different. And American Idiot versus the Black Parade, they're not the same at all. It's the way the production was handled that made me feel they were similar. And when I Googled, turned out, same producer. Okay.
The thing
that's
is,
all I'm saying.
When this came out, comparisons were unavoidable, right? Like,
Okay.
because they came out so close together, because they were two pop punk bands in their prime, releasing a concept record, releasing a rock opera, and because they were by the same producer, everyone
Rob
was going...
Carvello, I think, is the name.
That sounds right. These two records were going to be compared, and they're so different, and they're both great in their own right. And I don't know that anyone since has released a rock opera of this caliber. These two bands included.
And I'm not even trying to like be disrespectful. I just thought it was such a quirky thing. It's what I thought at that moment. I Googled and Google confirmed a connection that I wasn't expecting. Okay, I wanted to share that with you.
But have you heard the news that you're dead?
Yeah. but one more fun fact about Rob Carvello. While Green Day was recording "Time of Your Life," the song was, or "Good Riddance," the song was failing. They left the studio, and Rob Carvello played violin for 15 minutes and made that the number one song of their career. It is still the number one song of their career. Anyway, let's talk about Dead with the exclamation point, which is different than
Dead.
the period. Now, this song starts off with a flat line on that heart monitor.
And
But did the patient die? Or...
St. Jimmy's coming. I mean, go on.
Okay, they're not the same guitar line.
I know.
Not the same guitar
I know
line.
I'm stretching and being a little bit of a shit. Okay, go on.
It's a good song, man. It's a good song. It's got one of the best choruses. Honestly, no, honest to God, I think this song has one of the best choruses of the entire 2000s decade. And then just the way that the lyrics help frame the story, where in the middle there's like, you have 2 weeks left to live. Is that the best that you can give? And that super rock and roll solo comes in. Everything about this song is so jovial and so upbeat in contrast to the lyrics, which are so depressing. But they managed to make them such a happy opener. Like, you can picture the stage and the dancers and the singers and the backup singers and the balloons and the pyrotechnics that would happen on a Broadway musical, right? Like, you can picture all of this
literally
happening as this song is playing.
La, la,
and
la, la.
yeah, na 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 na. Exactly.
I believe it's La La's.
Fine, sorry, la la or na na, whatever. And you can,
Yeah,
and
it's not
just
na,
the
na, na,
way
na.
the way the music punches, everything is so meticulous. Get what you deserve, right? Like, everything is lined up. Everything is spread out perfectly. It's a great collaboration between this producer and the band.
Yes.
You know that they made a
Yes.
great team. So
They
again, this song is a 5-on-5. If you couldn't guess from my obvious excitement.
Yeah, he sang it last week. He sang it again before we
I
started.
love this
Wait,
song.
that's true.
And
We
yeah,
sang it walking out down the stairs.
how do you feel?
It's really I think it's also a really nice like fuck you, and it's unlike anything I've heard before, like especially regarding death, and it's just like you're dead, yeah, and it's something also like I think what makes the song is the fact that because I've done this before is like during free hours in Cégep, I had a friend who like would play guitar. And we
Cégep
would,
is our version of college. People not in
College.
Quebec.
True. We would literally walk down the hallway with his guitar and sing this as we're like
And it's so
happily.
sarcastic.
And it's like,
Oozes
yeah.
sarcasm, which
Yeah.
I love sarcasm in music.
And that's just I don't know, it makes the song, it's fantastic. The punchline or the hook or whatever you call it is really great too. It's just it's a good song. I give it a 5 too. I hated it at the beginning and now I love it. That was beautiful. That was a nice moment.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a 4.5 again for me. We'll start off with that. I'm not the biggest fan of this show tune style songs, and they both are, and they're counterweights to each other, and they're beautifully done. And I'm not even hating on that part a little bit. So this is eloquently produced. 4.5 is not a bad grade.
But again, you have to understand, I grew up on like Faith No More
Yeah.
and wacky shit.
You got to understand that this is still out there for me musically in terms of what I would normally put on, but I still appreciate the brilliance in this song. I mean, this is the one where, as we pointed out, like he's kind of realizing he's being given this diagnosis. We don't know what it is yet, but what's
Do we
super
know?
interesting is how the song kind of starts with this flat line, and I was reading some debates about what that meant on like the line, but I guess the feeling we get is it's like this close call situation, right? Like he gets brought into the hospital, whatever, and so he's not dying here.
No.
Right? That's cool. And well, to me, I might be wrong because, as I said, there's multiple theories out there. But I kind of took it like it was almost like it kind of took the context of the first song. So the first song is almost like this like flash of what's actually happening in his mind while he's crashed. As we'll find out what happened to him, as you all know. But as he had his disease kick in, and he hit the floor, and the ambulance is coming. So that whole first song is like a flash, how I perceive it at least, that plays out in his mind up into this point where he's now waking up in the hospital and he's finding out that he's dead. And it's just, I think the song is meant to be this sarcastic, jovial thing. Like the way he ends it, if life just ain't a joke, la 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 la, then why aren't we laughing? If life ain't just a joke, then why am I dead? And in the sense here, dead is like in his state of mind. He's kind of like not necessarily saying I'm literally at this moment dead, but he's kind of got this death sentence. You're basically dead at that point. You're not able to have that normal life. Like I read one of the books I read over there is called Chasing Daylight. It's about a guy with 3 months left to live, dying of a very similar thing, and it kind of just showed how his entire life view changed and shit. So when I thought about it like that, like you got like this whole album is exploring what goes on in this guy's mind over that like death sentence that's been handed to him, and from a concept level, that's some next level shit. It's surprisingly emo while not being completely self-indulgent with it.
Yeah, but it's not emo on the level of that a lot of other bands were doing, where it's just like, she left me, I'm sad, I'm gonna cut my wrists.
Self-indulgence.
No, I know.
A lot of bands were doing this in 2005.
it was
this was big.
Mm.
Remember Atreyu? I remember Atreyu.
I do. It come up sometimes in my life in conversation. But yeah, I think that's it. It's about self-indulgence. Like a lot of these bands were very self-centered. This album is kind of not about them. It's this.
It really feels like a story. They're telling a story with this. That
Yeah.
everything is fleshed out and everything is okay.
Anyway, I mean, and we get some like little hints into his life, like tongue-tied and also squeamish. You never fell in love. Did you get what you deserve? The ending of your life. So you even start to get at this point in the album that he's not necessarily at peace with where he's at in life, and that's going to get explored throughout these different tracks.
They say too, like, no one ever liked you anyways.
Yeah, I think that's in here. I give it another 4.5 on 5. Like I said, it is really a cool song. Like it's actually really fun to talk about it. I enjoy talking about the song more than I like the song. That's when they're like, this is how he disappears. All right. I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit of a Debbie Downer compared to these two, so I'm gonna go first on this one. It comes in kind of pumping and stuff, and then the verse gets kind of like, to me, kind of like morose and over the top with melodrama, which is fine. It's cool. And it's to unexplain the unforgivable, drain all the blood and give the kids a show. By streetlight this dark night, a seance down below. I'm like, man, this is
Might as well be about Batman.
Yeah, but like, there's things that I've done you should never know.
Justice.
And then we get the crux of it, and without you is how I disappear and live my life alone forever now. And then he goes on, and you get the sense that he's talking to like he's dying. He knows his like life is over. He's talking to this person. He's like, I can't be with you anymore. And he's not, like, he kind of hides behind the premise that he's a complete asshole. Well, I don't know. Online, they were all like, this is what the speculators or the people online were like. So he was a bad guy and their relationship had fallen apart. And now that he's dead, she's come back to, like, visit him. And he's like, no. In order to be less painful to you, fuck off and go away. That's how the internet interpreted the song for me. I haven't sat with it enough, but like, and you want to see how far down I can sink. Let me go, fuck, so you can. Well, so you can. I'm so far away from you. Well, now so you can. So I kind of get where they're coming from, right? Like that kind of lyric can be taken in that way, but I still feel like it's super vague and not as specific. And to me, this one's a little more vacant. I get what he's saying. I get the emotion. But I felt the song was a little simple. It was a little less, to me.
I guess.
And I didn't really enjoy the emotion that he was putting out. And maybe this is just a product of my age, and I'm willing to admit that. But I give it a 4. Like, to me, it's a good, well-made song. I don't really care that much for.
It kind of sounds like I Can't Live Without You type song too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
If I may offer a counter view.
Oh,
Yes.
please,
The
please.
way I have
You
always
may.
perceived this song and the next song, especially the way they're placed on the album, is they go back in time now, and he starts to see his younger romances and the way he fucked with people. Because you get the sense through the entire record that this guy has not lived a good life, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
So this, to me, is going back to, and the next song, too, is going back to his high school, college, whatever days. Seeing the way that he treated people, seeing the way that he maybe treated girls, cast them aside, treated his family, who really cared for him, and he just couldn't give a fuck. And this is kind of him remembering that and going, well,
Yeah.
fuck.
No, I mean, that's totally possible too. I think it's part of the brilliance of how this album's written is that you can interpret multiple things from these songs.
it's also a very good "I'm Broken, My Heart Hurts" song.
It is a great I'm Broken, My Heart Hurts song. But for me, and you know, reviewing albums every week, multiple times a week, you start to realize that it's really hard for bands to keep momentum going when they start an album strong. And this song, for me, keeps the momentum going in spades. And especially the payoff in that middle section, the climax, the riff that comes in down, 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 down. You want to see how far down? Like, it changes up. So heavy and it's so emotional and it's so great. And I love, this song feels like it's 3 songs put together, but they all fit and it's composed so well. And I actually really like the drop in energy in the verse because it has room to grow and really climax properly when it hits that middle section. And then that chorus is just such an anthem. Like, you can hear people screaming it in stadiums.
Yeah. Well, even the way it starts, right? Like you're saying, it's just a build. It's like it take off, right? And it slowly build off, and it builds up. And the thing is, it's different than the other two. So you're expecting, okay, well, when you're listening to the beginning, like when I was, and it was like, okay. And then once you get to here, it's like, okay, now I see, now I can feel it. And then it builds up, and then the go, and then it starts. And I feel like that's like an introduction now to the album and the story and after the...
Exactly, because the first 2 tracks are so jovial and so introductory and almost happy in the way they're presented, and then this one comes in and it's so morose, but there's still that same energy. So this is a 5 for me if I didn't say it.
Same. I mean, we might be, or I speak for myself, I may be a little bit biased here, just
Oh, I'm 100% biased.
But yeah.
No, but it's super interesting, right? Because I like hearing what you had to say there. Like, I can appreciate where they're coming from, and it makes me like respect the song more. It doesn't necessarily make me enjoy it more, but like I just want you guys to understand that there's a little bit of a difference between personal subjective enjoyment of a song and then the respect and admiration of like that it's well made. And my grade's a lot more on the subjective parts, not necessarily the appreciation parts.
Like me with all the other albums.
That's just
different.
sharp.
Lives are how it's supposed to be.
There's a place in the dark where the yellow...
Christen, how about you start us off this time?
Oh my lord. Okay, Sharpest Lives, very different vibe than the rest. It's different, guys. Oh my goodness. I mean, I sound kind of mean too at the beginning. I really liked it. It was like if it looks like I'm laughing, I'm really just asking to leave, and it starts off like very rhythmically, and then once you get into it, there's like all these harmonies and all these things, and then like you've got a choir in the bridge, like all going like gothic, like ha ha, and build up and everything. So it's definitely interesting, and lyrically even more so, which we will probably elaborate too. But
I certainly will. If Sydney doesn't, I will.
I don't know, but I love this from the beginning. Like straight up.
Okay.
I don't know if you did, but this is again. It was like going through the album. It was like okay. Oh.
I get what she's saying.
So yeah, I give it a 5 again. It's one of the songs that I listened to a lot, especially when I was in like the angry part, the angry phase. It's like, oh well, this is a good song. Exactly. That was me.
Okay, now that that's been said, I think what makes me like this more than the last one is, as what Syd told me off camera just now, it makes him like it a little bit less than the last one. And that's how similar this one was to 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, which is the album that really got me into it. Is a little more in tune with what I dig musically. I mean, Cemetery Drive is so beautiful. Anyway, that's that album. But so it comes in with that energy, that kind of like upbeat, like, but it had more polish right away. It's got more flair. It's got more life to it. And even then, I feel like it's a good. It makes me appreciate the calmness of the last song a little bit more, because the first two were a little bit over the top. So if you are watching a movie of this song, you needed that calm scene to get back into the drama. And so the pacing is great like that. It fits the narrative, and especially with the live show being this album in order with all the theater and shit that goes on with it. Very cool. Very amazing placement. It kind of comes in with a greeting. Well, it rains and it pours and you're out on your own. If I crash on the couch, can I sleep in my clothes? And he is really angry, as she said. Like, it is aggressive. Because I spent the night dancing. I'm drunk, I suppose. If it looks like I'm laughing, I'm really just asking to leave this alone. Holy shit, can we unpackage that? He's clearly got drinking issues. He's not even really aware of how drunk he is. He just knows he's smashed. And then he doesn't want to deal with his issues. And, like, don't talk to me. He's like, fuck off. Like, I don't want to deal with your shit, you know? And then you really get like the sense of this like partying vibe that he goes on. I love this little bridge bit. I've really been on a bender and it shows, so why don't you blow me a kiss before she goes? And you kind of get the sense that he's being a little bit of a drunk asshole. He's like, why don't you blow me, babe? And then she's like, are you sure? Okay, kiss. Blow me a kiss. Like, you really get like the real feeling of that like going on. Give me a shot to remember. Now, in the context of alcoholism, that's what you would do. You would just drink another shot. You would really just take that next one. And the few times I've ever decided to drink, drunk Holden that I can't remember did behave like that fucking asshole he was. Yeah. And as you can take all the pain away from me,
Drunk people
a kiss
are
and
dicks.
yeah, they are. A kiss and I will surrender the sharpest lives of the deadliest to leave. And you get the sense that like this is kind of what's made him this dark person, and made him like he's got these drinking issues. He's not treating people correctly and stuff. It's a really, really interesting song. I mean, it does have the right level of corn. I mean, come on, guys. There's a place in the dark where the animals go. You can take off your skin in the cannibal glow.
Whoa.
Juliet loves the beat and the lust it commands. Good use. It is a very horny book, Romeo and Juliet. Those two are very lust-filled, and it's basically about two, like, 14-year-olds trying to fuck. Classic literature.
Also, stupid kids.
Drop
I feel
the-
like that was Shakespeare's whole point. He was just like, look at these fucking idiots.
Yeah. Drop the dagger and the lather, the blood on your hands, Romeo. Anyway, corny, but actually really appropriate for the source material that they're quoting. So
Yeah.
I'm giving the points. For me, it's a 4.5 on 5. I really did enjoy this song. It is something cool. But then it kind of a little bit, to me, pales a little bit in comparison to the next one.
So I haven't spoken yet.
Did that really happen?
Said
God damn
anything.
it.
That's what happened.
I don't actually have much to say on this one.
Wow.
So that happens sometimes. I'm used to going last a lot lately.
It's a weird little trio we've got going here now. Yeah, I don't not like this song. Like, I really, okay, right off the bat, Gerard Way is a fucking great singer, and you feel the performance on this one. Like, you feel it all the way through the record, but you hear it on this one, like, the harmonies, the way that he weaves in and around himself is fucking great. Like, he's really good, and he really gives his all on this one. Musically, to me, it's not quite where the first 3 tracks were. I don't care as much, but I really do like the lyrics. And again, this one feeds into why I think this is going back in time, to when he was younger a little bit, because he's on a bender. He's a dumb kid. He's drinking a lot, and he's upset, and he's really drunk, and he's getting pissed off at just anything and everything. But he wants to fuck, but he's too drunk to fuck. Dead Kennedys, shout out. But it's a little bit forgettable for me comparatively to the
makes
first 3.
sense.
So I'm also going to give it a 4.5.
But I'd
the first
also
three were
agree.
vibes.
But I feel like what you're saying in your theory supports how my theory of the album goes too, right?
Yeah,
Because if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
on your deathbed and it's all about flashes and memories, this is like exactly that. Like
Yeah.
it's him thinking back on how he got to this place in life. Maybe his shit was related to drinking. I don't know. Maybe at this point, if you've never paid attention, you don't know what it is yet. But okay, can we move on to the next song, which is the one that made me literally spend $20 of Canadian currency on this album.
Holy shit.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
No for me, and other times I feel like I should go.
There is something special about this song. Like, it's just a giant musical composition. It is the album in a nutshell, a little bit. Not like the whole thing, but like the feel emotionally. Well, the music video was meant to be the album in a nutshell. And
It's great.
Anyway, Syd, I'll let you go first here so that we don't have a repeat of what happened on the last song.
I mean, sometimes you hear a song start and you just know, like, in your bones that this is going to be a classic song. It's the simplest intro they could have possibly given it, but it's so timeless. Just those little keyboard notes, and then when I was a young boy, and then is that Iron Maiden? Is that Iron Maiden? All like those guitar harmonies that are just metal as fuck, and then it goes into this like big punk rock anthem that just do or die, you'll never take me, and it's so singable and so like it's so epic. This song is the definition of epic. And then
I said agreed.
Thank you.
Because it's epic.
It's a 6 on 5.
You can keep going.
I think I've said all I had to say.
You forgot
Sometimes you
about
don't
the
have to
part
say
where
too
it
much.
gets really big and cheery and concerty at
No,
the end.
it's all epic and stuff.
It's different, guys. Oh my god! But
is.
it is.
It is very different.
I like
very
doing this now.
different.
So, yeah. How is it different?
I mean, it's different. Well, for the way it starts. No, but that's just literally like everybody recognizes the beginning. Even people who don't like just listen to pop, they will know that now.
Yeah.
And it's freaking anthem. It's amazing. Especially
And you know what's so great about it? As beautiful as it is, it still manages to be punk rock as fuck.
It is, but towards the end, so it starts off really like what is happening, and then build up. Okay, all right, anthem, and this would be really cool. Like we had in my stage up college thing, like a glee club, and it wasn't like a tacky glee club. We would just sing things, and I figured like this would be a cool thing, and we tried it, and I mean it never worked out because no one had time. But it's a fantastic song. It is.
That's a great story.
It is.
I'm glad you
It's
told
a great
it.
story.
Thank you.
I'm glad to know there are glee clubs.
There are.
Anyway.
They're fun.
So what did you give it?
Well, it is the song. It's a 5. It is.
All right. I'm going to have to agree with that 5. This is an undeniable classic. This is a song that has been in my rotation on and off for over a decade. It's hard for me to have anything other than a biased opinion, but I mean, it's just an interesting concept. So it's him remembering, as we'll find out, the greatest memory of his life, where he's young and he's remembering like his dad taking him into the city to see a marching band. But this marching band's a little bit different. It's for the Black Parade, which is all death and crazy shit. But even what he says, right? So after he's like, my father took me to the city to see a marching band, he said, son, will you grow up? Will you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? Will you defeat them, your demons and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I'll leave you, a phantom to lead you in the summer. And you have like this idea saying you're going to go through all of your dark shit that you're experiencing in your life. And are you going to overcome and beat your demons, or are you going to have some bad things happen to you? Even like, are you going to have your redemption story? Are you going to like give up to it and then ending it because as much as I can give you wisdom, son, one day I'm gonna not be there for you anymore, and it's gonna be up to you to like figure out if you have the strength within yourself, and that's when it like picks up and gets super. You gotta understand, like he goes through like his dad says that he's gonna die or whatever, and then he starts wailing like his dad has died, and so how I perceive that is in that moment, it's like he's remembering the happy memory of like his dad's there, and now his dad's gone. And we find out his dad like foreshadowed that and gave him this epic responsibility to overcome and be somebody. And then he's wailing like the pain of his dad has just died, has just happened.
Under this, the most 80s metal twin guitar is happening.
He's like anyway, it's like he's straining practically. And his fucking blonde ass, awful fucking blonde hair. I hate his blonde hair. I'm so sorry.
Not his real hair color.
I know. And then like when you're watching the video
fits
and
with
it's
the
like
aesthetic.
pretentious. I mean, I know it's the character and stuff. I know it's a performance.
His
looks
mouth,
sick
when he
and dead, it
yells,
works.
it does this like backwards like triangle
But he
thing.
literally does the
Illuminati.
fist things of like this, where he's like trying to like add. He does it all. Like he does everything he could to be more melodramatic than necessary. It's a great video to watch, though. I
Sometimes
don't
he
know.
gets the feeling she's watching over him.
Yeah, and then other times I feel like I should go, and through it all, the rise and falls, the body's in his sleep. And then it kind of reflects a lot on this Black Parade and this death and the ideal. And, like, just because you got to imagine, to me at least, that she was death. I mean, it might not be. I know there's characters on this album and shit that I don't know about.
Well, I think regardless of the characters, the Black Parade is supposed to symbolize death coming. So I think this is a turning point in the story of the album too, right? It's like, is he reminiscing? Is it death? Is it both? What's happening? Oh my God.
Well, I think he's, like, reminiscing, but I think he's starting to also understand that his upcoming death is a choice, right? And so after that little intro from his dad, which is part one, and then we really go into, like, the whole the verses where it's almost kind of questioning shit up until like that last like part, that bridge thing where he's like, I'm just a boy, I'm not a hero, and all that little bullshit that's going on there, where he's almost contextualizing the overwhelming nature of it all. Like this, he kind of accepts that, you know, there's something that has to happen. Like, almost like he realizes he can either waste these last 2 weeks of his life or whatever wallowing in self-pity, or he can try to, like, do something with it or figure something out. Like, I don't know. Like, you kind of get this, like, this almost acceptance that he is, in fact, going to die.
It's like some internal dialogue, like what he's trying
Yeah.
And then I've always felt the chorus is kind of like someone telling him that they'll carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's more his memory, like that kind of classic saying, like, you die twice. The first time is when you actually die, and the second time is the last time they say your name. And so I feel like it's a little bit more like that. So he knows that the impact of his life. One of the things, and I don't know if it's on this song, but one of the things I saw as like commentary of people's feelings on the album is how he's overwhelmed by this crazy love and support he's getting here at the end of his life. And it's part of what's triggered all the guilt that we've experienced of his like remorse as he goes through it all. It's because he doesn't feel he deserves this love. So he knows that in his passing, and he's going to be remembered forever almost, and that's kind of really anyway. 5 on 5, I'm certain that we could spend like literally 20 minutes just talking about this one song. It is that deep. The end is just so big. The stadiums obviously are freaking the fuck out when this song comes
Oh
on.
my god, yes.
I'm like,
People
whatever.
dying and dropping on.
And it's weird. And it's crazy to know that I don't actually think that this should be the closer, because otherwise I'd be saying this would obviously be like the biggest song, whatever. But it's not. There's something more interesting than that. So it really works as a good midway, hype you up fucking song.
Yeah,
And
it's
I think
perfect. Right at track 5.
It's
it really is what makes it more exciting, you know? Anyway.
it's a welcome to the Black Parade, like the album. Like
Yeah.
now we're going.
It was a great single. It made me buy the album. I Don't Love You Anymore. This is another one about that girl he was dating, but the tone is different. This was like clearly the girl I think he was dating, not the girl Syd thinks he was messing up. And this one though, the tone is so different. Hey, I'm not hating on his theory. I think it's equally plausible. This one is just sappy. Like I don't like. He's kind of like talking to the girl like, you don't need to love me because I'm dying, you know, but like given the situation, are you actually going to admit that shit is not right between us? Like look at that chorus. When you go, would you even turn to say I don't love you like I did yesterday? Like he wants that like almost resolution, like it's over, like go away, don't be around me, don't give me that sympathy fucking love, you know, like, well, when you go, don't ever think I'll make you try to stay, like I don't want you here, I know I'm lying in this bed, get the fuck out, I'm not gonna keep you here, I don't want that, and maybe when you get back I'll be off to find another way. I guess in that is death. That's what he's saying, death, because he's gonna die. And after all this time that you still owe me, you're still good for nothing. I don't know. So take your gloves and get out. Better get out while you can. So this is him being...
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, he's being a dick and telling her she's worthless to piss her off and hurt her so she leaves in that weird convoluted shit.
sad.
Look, I don't know that this song was like something I can really get into. I found it to be a little bit on the boringer side of things comparatively to the rest of the album. Thematically it fits. It's got its role. I guess it needed to be there. but I gave it a 3.5 on 5.
Yeah. I'm not going to go that low. But how about this? On a worse album, on a much worse album, this would be the best song. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
But on this album, and especially considering what it just followed, it's just so blah.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't reach those country rock heights that it wants to reach. The little guitar line, the manner, it's just like it's been there, done that. The chorus is
Just the whole song a cappella.
a little dull. It's a 4 on 5.
I agree.
I mean,
Well,
lyrically, I like it. I really do. But it's one of those like, and now we're gonna take it down, like mood
Yeah.
slowly. So I mean, it does its job. It's not. It's a 4.25. I love it lyrically. I really do. It's really great. But
Even she recognizes it's of a lower quality than the rest of the songs that we have talked about.
well, it comes
thus
on
far.
and it's like, oh, the title. I love the title. Okay, next.
I know.
Except for when I want to show people, I'm like, I have a song called "I Don't Love You," but
I didn't know that's a thing that people do. Did
it's
you do
just
that a
funny. Well, because my playlists are very different than other people, so they'll have all
Okay.
these crazy titles like "Dead!" exclamation point, and it's like, what? So it's
lot?
fun. It's a fun song.
So it sounds like you're surrounded by a house of wolves.
Exactly.
On the ambulance like I never gave a care. So get the choir boy.
Hey, Kristen, you talk last, so now the last shall be first.
Oh yay, joy,
And
Okay, go on.
joy. House of Wolves. It's different. No, it is different, but I don't know. I love it. I love it lyrically too. Ashes to ashes, we all fall down.
where have I heard that before?
Lots of places.
S-I.
Is that like a poem
I don't
something
know, but
about
it's
Jews?
It's not. It's about the bubonic plague.
Yep.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever.
That's Ring Around the Rosie we're talking about, but it's about the
Pocket full
bubonic
of
plague.
posies.
Was a traditional folklore cure for the bubonic plagues. The ring around the rosy was a symptom, and then ashes to
Right.
ashes,
And
we
the
all fall
pocket full
down.
of posy, which is
because
like
you would pretend to be dead or whatever. I don't fucking know, or you died.
It's
Anyway,
very creepy.
The
All
plague
right.
killed a lot of people.
It's
so,
it's
How do
creepy.
you feel about this song, Kristen?
Creepy like this song. This song is creepy. Well, I feel like, well, I don't know, how do you explain this? You feel like you can see, like you know when you watch a song, or watch something and you can hear like a track,
Right.
or you can envision a track, or the other way around. That's kind of this song, and like the album cover, the alternative album cover, or the artwork. You should look at that in the album. I don't know. It's a really cool and creepy song, and I like it, and I give it a 5.
Cool. And Mr. Sydney? Okay.
I don't care about this song as much.
Okay.
I like it more than the last one. I don't like it as much as most of the rest of them. It's got a lot of energy, which is great.
It's got like a hell vibe. Like
It's got a hell
now
vibe.
I'm going down.
Yeah. I love the drumming on this track.
Amazing.
It's great.
Fantastic.
It doesn't stand out in any real way to me, other than being better than the last song. So that's where it's at for me. It's a 4.3.
All right. I like the idea of the song because it really fits the energy. He's kind of questioning, is my life so bad? I think I deserve to go to hell. Well, I think I'm gonna burn in hell. Everybody burn the house right down. I mean, you really get a clear intention of what it's going through, but given the idea of this pensiveness, it would make sense at a certain point to question, am I going to heaven or am I going to hell? And this song shows where he's at with this, you know? Well, I know a thing about contrition because I've got enough to spare. I just Googled contrition earlier and I forgot what it meant. Can you Google
got
contrition while we're doing this?
Okay.
And I'll be granting your permission because I haven't got a prayer. No, it's relevant. Contrition, its definition, makes the line make actually sense. It's some religious term, I believe. Because you haven't got a prayer.
The state of being contrite.
Yeah.
She shed tears of contrition for his. Okay, wait. Origin.
Is it
Wow,
like
this is a
redemption? Is that
terrible.
what it is?
Synonyms: contriteness, guilt,
Yeah,
penitence,
it's guilt.
regret, remorse.
It's about having a bunch of guilt and remorse and shit. That's what it means. So he knows a lot about that because he's got a bunch of spare. And that first line lets you know that he's a dark person with a bit of a bad past, which supports the Sydney theory. And I'd be granting your permission because I haven't got a prayer, etc. Anyway, he goes through it all. Any questions? Play the ring around the ambulance while you never gave a care. So get the choir boys around you. It's a compliment, I swear. I say ashes to ashes. We all thought. I actually don't care about the lyrics that much because the way he sings them is so fucking cool. It's not really about what he's saying to me a little bit. I love the way he goes into the ashes to ashes line. It's really fun. It's really funky. I mean, I thought it was cool. It stood out to me. I don't really care if they rip off folklore. Rap does it all the time. Like, Method Man has so many nursery rhymes he's kind of fucked with. Like,
I'm not. I don't
cool.
not like this. Again, I don't not like the song, but my complaint isn't that they added a poem to it. That's fine. More of that.
It's definitely not like another Black Parade. It's pretty, like, I mean, the song, it's pretty, like, good. It's just, like, I don't really understand, like, you better run like the devil because they're never going to leave you alone. You better hide in the alley because they're never going to find you a home. And as the blood runs down the wall, you see me creeping up these halls. Oh, maybe. I'm a bad motherfucker. Tell your sister I'm another. Okay.
Just
like, it's just,
I don't know.
It's fine.
I feel
It's
like there's
okay.
like imagery in the song though a lot.
I agree. But I feel like there is a certain degree of, if Gerard Way's quotes have to be out there for us to, like, understand what's going on in the song, it's a little on the convoluted side.
Yeah.
And because he's so verbose and he gave all the explanations and all the YouTube clips explaining shit, I'm certain that you could piece together meaning in every lyric. And that's cool. But some of it's a little out there to me. I give it a 4.25 because I thought it was really fun to listen to.
That's a 0.05 less than I gave it, if anyone's keeping track.
5. No.
0.05. I gave it a 4.3.
Oh, you're correct. I'm wrong. See, Syd is right every week. Now let's talk about cancer.
Yes, I am.
Abandoned on my body, on my agony.
Syd can talk first about his feelings in the song, but I do have to comment on something Gerard Way said. He feels that this is the darkest song ever in terms of subject matter and the way he delivered it and shit.
Ever?
Ever in the world or ever in his music?
Though.
Like, yeah, he kind of, like, was, like, of all time, it was the feeling I got. I don't remember how exactly we worded it, but ever was the sentiment. And I just had to say, while it does get me in the feels, ever
Though.
I'm not with you on that, Gerard Way.
Yeah, no.
Please go on, Sydney.
Immortal technique called. He wants his title back.
Go back.
Wow. Sorry. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe you
you're
meant like
wrong.
that he had ever written or something.
I will say, like, I'm gonna praise this song because I love this song.
It is. It was just that comment on it. His anyway.
Like, it makes me feel for a person that has cancer that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's that level of it hits me in the feels.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so emotional, and you.
Fuck.
Okay. Before I continue with the praise, I have one complaint.
Go on.
I don't know why there's chorus on his voice throughout the entire first verse. So it's just piano, and it's him singing, and his voice is doubled, and it's not the kind of doubled where it works. It's the kind of doubled where it doesn't. It just makes it sound really tinny on a performance that should be really full and put towards the forefront. And it feels like they almost strip the vocals back, put chorus on them to make them blend into the keys more. Like, it's a really hard rock and metal and punk production move on a song that's not that.
But maybe it's just because he's had chemo and everything's groggy. I'm literally, because the way you described it, that would be the line of thinking I would have come to make that decision.
It strips a really solid vocal performance of some of its oomph. And that's one major complaint that I have on the song. And it's actually something that I'm gonna take points off for. Like, this song would be a 5 for me, but it's a 4.8.
I think it should be like just him and a piano to really.
But
like,
I really
slowly
like
die.
when the rest of the instruments come in.
Agreed.
And the chorus is still there.
Yeah.
It's just it fits better when there's drums happening, right? Whereas when it's just piano and vocals, it should really be just piano and one vocal.
Right.
And I think that would have worked a lot better. Hindsight is 20/20, but I can't believe that multiple people listened to this in a studio before releasing it and went, yeah, double his voice there. That's a great idea.
I'm telling you, they did this on purpose to be artistic.
Fine. Fuck you, Art. Kristen?
I mean, I like the title again, and what I like about this song actually is that it's really blunt.
It is.
It's really just very
Darkest
descriptive.
song ever written
Well, it
by
is- it is
anyone
dis-
ever.
It is dark.
It is, no, but it is descriptive too, and it's not like trying to give some metaphor. It's legit like, I am dying, I am white
Yeah.
and pale as fuck, and like I have no more hair, and I'm dying, and
Yeah.
I'm in agony. And I think
Baby,
for
I'm just soggy from the chemo and counting down the days to go.
it just ain't living.
Yeah, that's like, it hits me in the feels.
It's like Johnny Cash's, what is it, when he's counting down his days till he's gonna be hung or something? That one of those songs.
Dance Forever with the Devil
So,
on a
yeah.
cult.
Nope, totally not that. But I think it's not a song that I would like sit and listen through, because it's just slow and kind of very sad. Not the saddest song ever, but 4.25.
Wow. I wasn't
At
expecting.
25, though.
It's my new
So
thing now.
like, I was really moved by this. I mean, at this point now we know what the patient has. He has cancer. That's what he has. That's what gave
In
him
case
2
you
weeks.
didn't catch the title or the chemo or the...
But like, I really appreciate that My Chemical Romance made it like something, right? And made it. It kind of makes the story more viable. Like I'm more invested in the fact that this is a cancer patient dying, and it's his memories as he's dealing with radiation. He's groggy. It almost explains why he's so fading in and out of consciousness and having these crazy thoughts and whatnot. And it's so and it's something that, like, personally I've never dealt with it, but I know enough people who have, where a lot of people could benefit from this kind of a song, especially about this particular subject. And as we've discussed in past podcasts, often rock bands don't want to be specific about real issues. So kudos. It was really incredible to, like, just make this honest. And what may have been perceived as a weak-ass emo song to some, I'm looking at a move of pure strength, and I really love it. But it's a little bit off, and maybe it's what Syd was describing. There's something about it that kept me from giving it a 5, so I'm going to copy what happened last time, and I'm going to be 0.05 less than Syd with a 4.75.
Whoa.
Because I really fucking like this song, and it really got me in the feels, and it's not impossible that I would tear up listening to it in the future, is all I'm trying to say. And maybe we need to change the vibe a little bit. Mama just
They've got
killed
you.
a man.
Full of lies. Mama, we're meant for the.
Oh, Mama is different. Definitely different. I wanted to be the first one to say that on this
I'm
one.
taking my sentence.
But Kristen, how do you feel about the song now
my
that that's been said?
catchphrase. I just need a shirt that says it's different.
We can maybe look into that.
It's unexpected.
Whoa.
Whoa! No, it is. It's very, but it's very. Again, I feel like it's kind of more blunt, and it's not. He's kind of just pleading at this point, and then it changes very much at the end, right? And he's like breaking down, like almost on his knees, like "Mama," right? And I don't know. This song has very different feelings to it, and also lyrically, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of confusing, to be honest, but. What I noticed is you kind of get like a bit of the marching band in the song with the.
Yeah,
You do with like.
it's really fitting that you would pull out the marching band. I don't know if you know what the song's about, but it's apparently, according to what I see, he's a soldier.
There we go. Yes, it reminds me of the.
So this is the part where we find out he's done some despicable things in war, and it's really clear in
But this shit that we've done with is something of
Well,
a
yeah,
gun.
because
this
he's
fuck of a
talking-
gun.
Fuck of a
He's
gun.
talking
right?
about like
You
his mother.
cry
and,
your
yeah.
eyes out all along. So it's because his mom thinks he's this wonderful person, especially as he's lying here dying and stuff. And he's like, "But Mama, you don't understand." And you gotta. There's bombs going off in the beginning of this song,
I
right?
should
It's
have been a
very.
better son.
It's not like subtle. They want you to know that he was involved in some kind of war. So, Mama, we all go to hell. Mama, we all go to hell. I'm writing this letter wishing you well because he's a soldier.
Yeah.
Sending it back. Everything's good. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Please stop asking me questions. I really don't want to tell you about this, Mom.
I hate
No-
to see you cry.
You know, like, I don't want to have to tell you what I've done. when there we
cuddle
go, don't blame us. We'll let the fires just bathe us. Ooh, it's fucking interesting.
It sounds
Yeah.
like he's like in hell and then writing back to her now. So he's a soldier of the parade in hell, and he's like, "Hey, it's really quite pleasant except for the smell. Mama, we all go to hell."
It's possible.
It's possible.
I mean, it
I
could.
mean-
It's why it's not. It's a theory, but it's just it's.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you
can
were
think
right about
about
with
it.
that marching band business. So that's it. You can keep going. I just wanted to throw in the soldier bit.
Oh no, I mean that I was looking for. It was in the back of my mind, but I was doubting it. But yes, that.
I mean, for me, this song almost like it doesn't transcend the meaning because I really appreciate that. I love its placement on the album, but it's so like this song is so good.
Yeah.
It's so well written, and again, it's another one where it's like they took 3 distinct styles and sewed them together, but in a way that works so well. Like there's this vaudeville. That like it's like there's a kind of a vaudeville vibe going through the album in general, but this one really milks it. With especially with that when it really comes down and it's almost like a gramophone where you hear the woman singing.
Yeah, there's something like you
And
could have.
if you could call me your sweetheart.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe I
Apparently,
see
like
this.
I don't remember her name, but they like went out of their way to pick this one particular
Liza
like.
Minnelli.
Was it Liza Minnelli?
Perfect.
Yeah, I
Perfect. That
so.
sounds like Liza
Bonnie
Minnelli.
would be so fucking mad at me for not remembering that. But yeah, it makes sense. And they like went out of their way to get her and made it like be the only feature vocally on the album to play the Mother War character.
Sure, fine. But I mean that, and just even in the second verse, well, mother, where am I? Then something, man, in my tongue. You should have raised a baby girl. I should have been a better. Like it's so
If you
theatrical. and
coddle the infection,
but
you can
even that
amputate it
line-
once.
Yeah.
No, but even that line, like the
you
baby
should have raised
girl,
a baby girl. I should have been a better
It's
son.
just like wow, because if you'd had a girl, maybe I wouldn't have had to go to war and I wouldn't have been down that life and shit. And it's just like,
yeah, and again, it goes from like this light, plucked guitar to like this. And when we go, don't blame us. This big, like, atypical pop punk chorus to this, like, dirty fucking breakdown. And then it gets super aggro towards the end. The mama. Like, this song is a 5.
There's like resentment in it too. I don't know.
I'm gonna land at a 4.5 on 5.
Wait, I didn't
I-
rate it.
I know. I was trying to give you that chance, but you didn't want to take it. We were gonna ask before we moved on, but 4.5 because I admire this song, but it's like again a little out there. It's not my favorite genres per se, but it's really fun and really cool. Like it's like this album has a mood, and it's like I would love to listen to most of this album as a whole, but not necessarily every song on it would I put on my playlist per se. So anyway,
That is fair.
what did you give it?
5.
Perfect.
Period.
Yeah.
So let's talk
High
about
five.
his song with another backstory, Sleep. So before Syd goes into it, let's do the context stuff. They were recording in this mansion that was apparently haunted, right? And some voices were at the beginning. This is like a depiction of the night terrors that Gerard Way got while he was staying at this haunted mansion studio they were recording at. And then this song is written in the spirit of those experiences he had.
I had read something different.
I'm having a flash here. Is this the same mansion that Slipknot stayed at to record Volume 3?
I don't think so. I really don't, because Rick Rubin didn't produce this album.
No, but I know Slipknot stayed at a place that was supposedly haunted.
No, I know, but I don't think it was the same mansion. But if I'm wrong, feel free to correct us. But I just feel like Rick Rubin's always at that other mansion.
Let us know, because there was one other thing that they did that was very similar to what Slipknot was doing at the time with this record. For their live shows, they said, and it was the whole My Chemical Romance will not be performing tonight. They would say that right as the show was starting and the band was coming on. And Slipknot did the same thing for their tour cycle for Volume 3. It was, we have to inform you that Slipknot will not be performing tonight as the lights were going off and things were starting, and just to get the crowd riled up. So I wonder if there was a little bit of influence there.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I had read something different a while back. I don't remember which band member, but anyways, it's one of the other's voices at the beginning with the whole like saying, feels like somebody's gripping my throat. But apparently, related to one of the members' anxiety too, when he was having night terrors and like not doing well at all, and they kind of took that and incorporated that in the song. So what he was saying was what he felt, but that could be completely wrong.
Honestly, it might
terrors.
But it might be. It might be. I just saw that this was Gerard Way said it, but it could be that. Whatever. I know that Mikey was dealing with anxiety, but that's totally a last song on the album chat. That's not here.
Jared.
Yeah, how did you guys feel about it otherwise?
I really do like this song. This is one that when I was a kid I didn't care as much about. Like I would skip it. But as an adult, hearing this song with fresh ears, like it's really subtle. And I really, really, really like the melodies on this one. Like it's slow, it takes its time. It's almost like it's really similar to like A Perfect Circle.
Yes.
Which is, it's out there territory for this band. That kind of spacey sonic experience. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I give it a 4.5 on 5.
Cool.
So this was my favorite song. It is my favorite. Well, one of my favorite songs of
Ever.
songs ever. No, but I the beginning. I mean, I really like the beginning, but I feel like the hooks, like the hardest part, is letting go of your dreams, and then what was it? It's something like I forget the other hook right now. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. It's just this song really got to me, and for that reason. And then at the end, when he's just basically like screaming, like, just sleep, and then you have like, no, wake up. And it's kind of like the whole I'm not okay thing. Trust me, I'm okay. I'm not okay. So it's an interesting parallel. But I
remember 2003.
It's a 5 for me. It's a biased 5. It's my favorite song.
By 5?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know how to justify how this fits into the plot of the album as much. I mean, he has night terrors. He's having trouble sleeping because of his medication. He feels whatever.
I mean, I
think it's a little bit more about the fact that one of the band members had night terrors and it just kind of fit.
But I think it also fits because he's like slipping in and out of consciousness at this point, right? Like
Right.
he's dying. This is where he's like.
And I guess it's probably not like pleasant dreams if you're on these kinds of drugs and shit. It's probably a little bit weird.
Right.
But it's really the melody and the chorus. You expect him to go in a certain direction with it, and he goes in this whole different, like he drops the note where I almost feel like it should go up normally. And he fucks with he just fucks with what you're expecting him to do in a way that I liked. And then the way he does add those screams and stuff at the end, it really adds something to it. It's got this gothic charm where like
Probably why I liked it.
you really don't it's really cool. Like the first time I heard it I was like whatever, but it really started to grow on me a bit, and I thought that was interesting. I still give it a 4.25 because it feels like a little long for what it is. It feels like it goes on just a little bit too long for me. Like I'm not the biggest fan of one-word choruses because it really is just like sleep and then he like layers shit on top of it. But it's cool. It's interesting for what it is.
Well, it's like a goodbye, and it's like, and through it all, how could you cry for me? Because I don't feel bad about it. So shut your eyes, kiss me goodbye, and sleep.
Yeah.
I don't love you anymore.
Yeah, it's fine.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not like it's poorly written or lyrically. It's just it's fine.
To each their own.
Teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
No fit in much, kid. But if you're troubled,
I just gotta say what I didn't know about this song, and I want to tell this story because I had a very similar experience. So Gerard Way was on a subway, and he was surrounded by teenagers, and now he's a little bit older, and this gave him some anxiety, and he wrote this song. Now I was on the bus last summer, and I was feeling a little sweaty and shit, and I was surrounded by all these teenage girls, and it just made me feel really anxious. Like being sweaty on a bus surrounded by teenage girls. I don't know why, but it made me really understand where Gerard was coming from.
It's a little creepy.
Well, not like anxious like that, but like just being sweaty and gross surrounded by all these like yippy little girls. It's just a weird feeling.
It is intimidating, even if it's
like there's
guys,
like
girls,
literally
teens,
like
just
13
scary.
of them surrounding you because it was on a bus that goes like I have to pass by a high school on my way to work. It's just kind of what it is.
I don't know. I'm surrounded by teenagers now, and I like not I'm surrounded by teenagers now, but like when I'm surrounded by teenagers on a bus, I'm just like, You're really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Shut up. Stop talking.
But
You can't
sometimes
do
they,
so
they
much.
kind of get like you don't
Can't
know,
do
like
that.
they're kind of violent sometimes, and like no, it's true. And I was a teen. I'm still in my head a teen, and I mean just being around teens, it's true. They kind of this song kind of does make
When
sense.
I was a teenager,
When I was a
didn't think we
teenager,
were any more violent than we are right now in our older age.
I don't know about that. But what I can say is this song is so fun. Okay,
It's such a fun song.
it is.
Oh my God.
I've listened to this song. It's a great single. Like I can't. Like the music video is dumb. Sorry, they're
This
playing.
video is so great.
well, I'm
mean-
dumb on purpose. I think it's.
I mean,
it's
they're
good.
playing on a stage, and then there's some cheerleaders. Then they put on their gas masks as the kid fucking break through the door, and then everyone parties, and it's like,
Oh, fun.
okay. But it's really like the
Yeah,
lyrics,
man.
right? Because it kind of does show like the anxiety that like adults feel towards teenagers and change and all this other shit.
Unfair and unmerited.
And it kind of maybe shows how this patient person is kind of reflecting on maybe his experiences as a teenager and how people didn't really understand him and shit. But really, like, I don't know, man. If you're troubled and hurt, what you got under that shirt will make you pay for the things that they did.
All together now.
Teenagers scared. It's really fucking powerful and whatnot, right? Like, you really get the sense that he manages to touch on almost every part of like perceived teenage angst, down to like, oh, they're gonna get bullied and shit up at school and shit, you know? Like,
And just, it's so rock and roll. Like that fucking blues solo that happens right in the middle of it. Like, this song could have come out in the 50s.
and there's a cowbell
And there's a fucking cowbell.
at the end. Back in that era of life when every song needed a cowbell.
Because Christopher Walken went on Saturday Night Live and said, I have an itch, and the cure is more cowbell.
I remember that, and I was in Seja, our college thing at that time, and it was awful to be around then, because everybody said that all the fucking time. And
Pop quiz, Holden. Do you remember what song he's referring to?
No.
Don't Fear the Reaper by
Shit,
Blue
I should
Oyster
have known
Cult.
that. I now I do, but fuck. Anyway,
Fun fact: I have a band, and we call it the Cowbells after that skit. Hey,
that's
fun.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cowbells.
I think everybody can agree.
Hi. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. For me, this song is a great pop single, a great fun energy, interesting, challenging lyrics for what they are, make you think in that ironic kind of way. Short, sweet, 5 on 5.
It's kind of like
Comes
Anarchy
in,
too, and
does
like
its thing.
yeah,
That's a 5.
I Ain't Conforming. It's a 5 too. It's a really great. It's another anthem, and it's also kind of, if you look at it through the other perspective, you're like, ha, adults are dumb. Seriously, they think we're like this. Yeah, we're so scary and threatening. Hey,
Yeah, I get it. Honestly, great track. I don't know.
I'm still a teen.
Here's the teenage voice here.
Well, yeah, Disenchanted then. I got a little fact for y'all. Apparently, that chorus is sending subliminals, in the hip hop sense of rap beef subliminals, towards the used, because they were beefing back then. And Gerard Way used that chorus to send subliminals out their way. So if you think about it, you're just a sad song with nothing to say, but a lifelong wait for a hospital stay. And if you think that I'm wrong, that never meant nothing to you. I mean, yes, it totally fits the album and all that shit. But it also, that's how subliminals work. They're not obvious. Now, I don't know if that's true. I hope one of you guys do. But that was one of my favorite facts, was that that fucking My Chemical Romance and the Used had beef. Didn't they do Under Pressure together? Weren't they like super good homies? Then they were beefing. Crazy shit. I didn't even know beef existed like that in emo.
What's his name? Brett.
I don't know his name. He's the Used guy. Because is it worth it? Can you even hear me? Anyway, so how do you guys feel about this track?
It's just a sad song with nothing to say.
What was that fucking used song?
There's a lot of
You're
used
so
songs.
stuck on it.
I just anyway.
That was my line. No, I mean, I do feel like you were saying too. We were like, oh wait, we forgot this was on the album, because it's not bad. It's just
It's very
Oh yeah,
bland.
this song is such a skip. But like,
It literally says what it is.
It's bland.
If you don't take it for the subliminals, it's a sad song with nothing to say.
Well, no, it's a disenchanted experience. He's kind of reflecting back on
Yeah.
the melancholy. You know, well, I was there on that day. They sold the cause for the dream, and hold on. I think my favorite song is the second verse. I gotta just jump there because I couldn't care less about the first song. It's just kind of whatever shit
Yeah,
happens.
verse.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I spent my high school career spit on and shoved to a grease so I could watch all my heroes sell a car on TV. That's a great fucking line, actually. That is definitely the type of thing that makes you become a little disenchanted with the whole universe. So disenchanted is where, like, you used to believe and have dreams and have hopes and stuff, but now you're a jaded fuck who doesn't believe in shit.
you might
So-
even say he's not okay.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Trust
But
me.
that was great too. So ultimately, like, it's just another little song reflecting, and I wish I had more to comment, but it was kind of a little less good. Like, it was well made, and like had to quote Syd from earlier in this review. If this was on a bad album, this
Very
would be
big.
the best song on that really bad album. But on the other hand, it's on this song, surrounded by easily two of my favorite songs on this project. It stood no fucking chance in an album review. So if I was doing a solo song review of Disenchanted, having not listened to the rest of the Black Parade, I'd give it a 4.
Well,
But I feel like it's boringer, and I didn't give it more attention, but I know it's worthy of a 4.
I feel like the placement is still strategic because it's like one final reflecting before you get to famous last words. And if you think about, I'm still cutting you off, so I'm still speaking. I think, like, if you think about the 5 stages, right, of death and everything too, when you get to here, it's kind of like you're more into acceptance. It's like, okay, this is happening, and then bam, we get to the end, and it's really cool. So I would give it a 4.
What I need you guys to do is in the comments, please sing to me every song you know by The Used, so
Come on,
that I can
Taste of
remember
Ink,
what
Sing?
the fuck song.
Box of Sharp
You want them to
Objects,
sing in the comments?
No.
Bird and the Worm.
No.
Okay, good, we're done. We've
Anyway,
done
the
it.
song is a skip, and it's also a 4.
All right, so he's caught on the use. We lost him there. Those are the famous last words Syd dropped on Disenchanted. So this one also has a story. I like how many of these songs have stories. It's fun.
Stories.
So it's an
Mikey
entire story
Way,
of stories.
who is in the band, and you may have noticed has the same last name of Gerard Way. Actually, yeah, he proceeded to quit the band because of anxiety and shit, and wasn't feeling very kosher during the recording process. And so Gerard, he wasn't happy with this situation, as you could imagine. His little bro's ditching him. He's feeling a little sad. And then he wrote this song. They played the song for little Mikey Way, and he joined the band again because it was that.
Yeah, Mikey.
But like,
You're the dumbest Ninja Turtle.
so like this song kind of does two things at once, and it really is. It is one of the best examples of a double entendre that is the entire song I've ever seen. Because on the one hand, every single line is Gerard writing to Mikey about this particular situation. On the other hand, it's a go fuck yourself. This is not really going to have the ending you thought it would. We're going to confuse the shit out of you, patient story part. So it does both those things at the exact same time. And I
right.
thought
Or
that was
death.
super
Because-
cool.
It's an album about a guy dying of cancer, and yet it ends with the words, I am not afraid to keep on living. I am not afraid to walk this road alone. Honey, if you stay, I'll be forgiving. Nothing you can say can stop me going home. And it fades out on that, and you gotta figure, the guy probably dies, but you don't know.
Because he
Like,
might
is he
actually
dead? Is he
live.
not?
But
Yeah.
realistically,
He dies.
He's probably
because
dead.
that can be interpreted like entering the afterlife and blah blah blah.
Maybe
but it could
he went
also
to
be.
heaven.
It could
Maybe
also.
maybe he went to heaven.
He got forgiven throughout saying all
which
these things
is
about himself.
actually another very possible like thing.
Confession.
Like he went through the whole process. He got saved in a Christian sense, and now his soul is ready to move on.
Maybe when he sees her lying next to him with words they thought they'd never speak,
Awake
and unafraid, asleep or
Or
dead,
Fun fact.
is he waking up in the afterlife
Wait.
next to this girl that he fucked over so hard, but he loves, and she's dead too, and everything is great. Oh
Hold
my
on.
god, whoa, mind blown. Sup?
So Mikey in that haunted studio didn't feel comfortable sleeping alone and slept next to Gerard during this process. So he's actually and literally in the double entendre sense,
With
like
words I thought
looking at at Mikey sleeping there, feeling these things, writing this song, you know, and it's really fucking interesting.
The
And
song is so good.
Fun
don't know.
fact, though, there's a bonus track. I think it's on the
We're not-
Japanese release. No, but it's called Heaven Help Us.
okay, yeah.
So it's like a bonus, not
Yeah,
a hidden bonus.
there are
could
3 additional bonus tracks that got released across the way. We will not be talking about here tonight.
Anyway, this is a 5.
Yeah, I think that chorus is one of the most motivating and powerful things, and it really is the acceptance in your like in the theory you presented in the accepting the loss and whatnot. It's the final point in this, man. I mean, I've been heartbroken and screaming out lines like "I am not afraid to keep," like it's totally fits that so fucking perfectly. So many like everything about this song. It has that triumphantness of Black Parade, but it feels like an album closer. Like you when you heard Welcome to the Black Parade, you were not going, there is going to be another song equally as epic, equally as whatever that would be able to do this.
But you were wrong, imaginary person.
And somehow My Chemical Romance dropped that. And very, very few of the albums we've looked at all on this channel in the rock like are able to kind of recreate that epicness twice on the same project in different directions, but really doing it. And so that was amazing to me.
And it's also, once again, like 3 different songs in one song. And you're like, what is
Yeah.
happening? But it's so amazing and smooth and what?
It's a 5. I'm not gonna lie. It's great.
5.
So we aren't going to talk about any of the bonus songs, but we are going to talk about a hidden track. Blood.
Blood, blood, blood. Grab a glass because this.
Funnily enough, I very recently made a video on the history of hidden tracks, so you can check that out, because this is a hidden track that subscribes to one of the annoying tactics that was so cool in the CD era, but stopped working the second we could upload fucking songs to computers. And that is what they did on the original is it was 13 songs, but that last song had 90 seconds of silence between the end of Famous Last Words and the start of Blood. So this was a little goof because you would hear all this silence, you'd think your CD's over, you'd take it off, but one day you'd just let it play and you'd hear this song come in and start to kick in. And it's this little ditty that was apparently put together during a period where Gerard was lacking the inspiration needed to continue writing the project. So they fucked around, wrote this old-timey little feely, all about what it would feel like to be a patient having blood taken out multiple times for tests and shit. It's almost like the doctors are vampires and stuff. So he's just kind of writing in like response like blood, gallons, other stuff. Because if you think about it, when they are trying to do all this shit, you're just like a pincushion and they're fucking taking your blood nonstop. And when I realized that, like, not only was it this little goofy fucking weirdo song, but it really kind of worked and could have been on the project, I kind of dug it. I thought it was a really fun little gift at the end. I give it a 4.5. It's the right way to do the sneaky little bullshit move of bonus tracks like that.
It's cute. It feels like a post-credit scene.
It sounds like an ad.
It's also
like an old radio ad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, blood.
I feel like at some point, My Chemical Romance liked vampires.
Oh yeah.
No. They only use the word, like, in every second song.
Oh
but
my
yeah.
god, I know. We get it. You like vampires and blood and stuff.
In love with all of these vampires.
Like, it was just not on this album as much.
It was.
It was barely
It's
there. I just read all
Sharpest
the
Lives.
Sharpest Lives.
Yeah.
That's one time. Like, it's not 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, my friend.
I know,
Yeah,
there's a
that
lot
is
of
just
vampires on
vampires.
that. And the
There's a
one
song
before
that-
that, oh my god.
Well, apparently the album before it had vampires. I don't really know vampires from 3 Cheers.
So-
And if they get me, what you
3 Cheers didn't have a lot of vampires, to my knowledge, because I don't remember
But
vampires.
it had a lot of vampiric imagery.
That's very fair.
Imagery.
Anyway,
Imagery.
so what'd you think of this song?
Yeah, it's a 4.2. It's cute. It's fun. I like it.
You 4. It's cool.
All right, so I guess we could wrap this one up a little bit.
Rabbity rap.
I gave this a 4.45. For real, this project is a well-rounded concept rock opera. I had a colleague tell me this is the last real emo album. I don't know if that's true, but it is a kind of epic, fucking grand experience, and I really enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, even if it's stylistically not as much as my go-to, and it was a definite deviation from 3 Cheers to Sweet Revenge. But on the real, Three Cheers to Sweet Revenge is hard to listen to now. This album is quite delightful, this Black Parade. I really enjoyed it. It's really aged well, and it deserved all its like 10-year later crap it got recently and stuff. So cool. Good on you. I love the dedication of the marketing campaign, of the costumes and shit. I love what they did with this project, and I would love to see more people do more shit like that.
Your friend who told you that has clearly never heard Come Over When You're Sober Part 1.
Well, to be fair, that's another era.
Right.
Part 2's
but
coming, my friends. It's got 10 tracks from what I can tell.
That is some emo shit right there.
Yeah, but emo disappeared for a while, we can say,
Ah.
from the mainstream and popularity.
Also clearly never heard
Okay,
like
we got it.
the
we
second and third Bring Me the Horizon album.
Got it.
Anyway,
This album.
it's great. I give it a 4.65. Fucking love it. It works. There's a few tracks that don't work so well, but overall, the composition is great. The production is great. All the performances are spot on. Like, there are some timeless guitar solos. There's Welcome to the Black Parade. The drumming is fucking sick. The singing and the melodies and the harmonies are so spot on. Fuck the bass. Nobody cares. It's just great, man.
Poor Mikey. Or is Mo? He's the guitarist.
He's the guitarist.
So yeah, guy with the big hair.
Yeah,
Or is
fuck
that
guy.
Mikey?
I don't know.
Anyway, go on.
Well, this is still like fairly new to me, being that I discovered it like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's still very like
Fairly new.
well,
Right, come on.
like in my music listening experience, that's what I mean, and it's very it means a lot to me, and I really like it, so I would give it a 5 because also I don't have as many
The
things
album?
to compare it. Yeah,
The
to.
whole album.
The whole
You're saying
yes.
it's perfect.
4.8.
What did you give it? You gave it a 5?
4.8.
Yeah, I had to like pull
You
you,
didn't even
back.
give every song a
4.8.
5.
Still, I think as a whole,
I like your
together,
4.8 better, but you're
4.8.
entitled to your
4.8.
opinion, even
as
if
a whole,
seems
it is a
consistent.
fantastic album. Yes, it's a bias. It's a bias thing. I've said it.
It's okay.
I will
I didn't
say.
even give Volume 3 a 5.
4.8.
God damn.
Shh.
I like it. Okay, no, but it's well done.
All right.
There we go. 4.8.
Done. So thank y'all for watching. It's super amazing that you do come here and you check this out and you listen to us have our conversations. And it's also super amazing when in the comments you add your contributions to this conversation. We'll read
Sing
it.
me the used.
I know at least Cristen will join me in answering you in the comments, even if Syd's not the best at that. And just want to give some love to Lindell Williams and Mozart, our patrons. They're really awesome. They've decided to support us in a more direct way because by doing that, we can grow and get better shit and make a better product for y'all.
There's going to be links.
And if you want to check out the request raffle where you can let us know what you want to do each month, kind of skip the line a little bit, it's a great opportunity for you to get to see some obscure album or your own album or whatever. You can also get access to content early, and you can check out the Patreon and give us some suggestions on how to come up with new shit if you have any. But if you don't want to do it like that, you can always hit that subscribe button and tell YouTube that you like us and that we're worth watching, or the like button or a comment. And if you don't, you can hit the dislike button and leave us a mean comment too.
Yeah.
That also counts, so it'd be
Show us
awesome.
that you're watching.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna go now. Have a great day. Peace.